This is not why I started to do this tonight, but I do have a question if anybody can answer me. Why do they call Jewish people Semitic? It should be Shemitic, because they claim to be from the line of Shem, not Sem. No, he didn't have a son named Sem. He had Ham, Shem, and Japhet, which those names translate a little differently, but regardless, why do they call the Jewish people Semitic? Was my question. If anybody can answer this, please let me know because it's a little confusing to me in the first place. But anyway, that's not why I was here tonight. What I did want to talk about is holidays. Now, in the Levitical law, it says that we are supposed to celebrate certain holidays. The high holidays like um, Passover, Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, Sukkot, it's also known as Feast of the Tabernacles, um, Hanukkah, and there's a bunch more. I'm still learning some of these. In America, we don't we don't celebrate these holidays except for a few devout Jews or Jewish, regardless. There is a difference. Um, and the Jehovah's Witnesses, from what I can tell, just don't celebrate any holidays, including the high holidays, which is kind of weird to me. But anyway, so let me see if I can ruin your holidays for you. Starting with the one that's coming up next. Now, I'm going to do a little more research on this. I'm going to come back with some shorts, but this is the basics of how I know it right now. Thanksgiving, except for the very first Thanksgiving, which they say was celebrated to celebrate them surviving the first year, the Pilgrims surviving the first year with the help of the Indians. Except for that Thanksgiving, and Thanksgiving was not celebrated every year until here in recent history. To make that clear, the only time else that they celebrated Thanksgiving was when they conquered a Native American or Indian tribe. They'd bring back the head, and then they'd have a feast and call it Thanksgiving. And they had it around the same time every year that they defeated a Native American tribe. Up until about 1920 something, I believe, that they made it a national holiday. And it still took them several years to decide after they made it a national holiday exactly what week it was going to be on. But that's just the shorts of it. Now, I have Native American blood in me, that's why I got the black hair. And I cannot see anybody that has Native American, Hispanic, which means specifically the anybody south of the border, or anybody that's from the Americas that their ancestors were not from Europe, regardless. celebrating a holiday that celebrates killing your ancestors. Just so you know. I don't think anybody should be celebrating a holiday that celebrates killing somebody's ancestors, considering they killed 350 million Native Americans in this country in the first 200 years the Europeans were here. But regardless, next is Christmas. Now, Christmas actually comes from a number of old pagan holidays. Before it was Christmas, it was Saturnalia. Before that, it was Yuletide. That's why in one of the Christmas carols it actually talks about the Yuletide, what Yuletide brings, or something like that. These were satanic holidays where they disbanded the law and everything was loud, which basically was like the purge for 24 hours from sundown to sundown the next day. Remember it's from sundown to sun up. I don't remember exactly. But if you don't like the fact that Christmas was celebrating the birthday of the sun god, and we just decided to supposedly just decide that Jesus was supposed to be celebrating his birthday on that day, which if you do history, if you do believe in Jesus, you know that he would not have been born in December, period. It is just celebrating the son of the sun god. The birthday of the son of the sun god, whether it's Tammuz, Horus, the list goes on and on and on and on. Like Thor, Hercules, or anybody like that. But anyway, and if you don't like that reason, it says for us not to celebrate pagan holidays anyway. But Jeremiah, like I said, I'll come back with the absolute facts on this. It says to because I forgot chapter and verse, but it is in Jeremiah. Do not bring a tree into your house, fasten it with nails, and cover it with silver and gold as the pagans do. And that's what they do every Christmas. We're asking a pagan person that still celebrates Saturnalia and why they burn trees or bring trees into their house to have a good harvest the next year. And they don't know why Christians celebrate, or Americans specifically, but Christians celebrate their holidays. The New Year's, the only thing I've really found out about what they call New Year's, because it's not actually the New Year, is that was the day the slaves stayed up to find out if they were going to be freed. But I have only found that one time. I'm not sure on the source. Let's see. Valentine's Day would be the next one, which celebrates the birth of the son of Venus, or son of Calypso, or son of Aphrodite. But it's all the birthday of some son of the goddess of love, depending on what. Pick your pagan religion, go with it, I guess. St. Patrick's Day would be is actually supposed to be celebrating the man who ran all the snakes out of Ireland. If there's any truth to it, it's probably the Christian that ran all the dragons out of Ireland. But regardless, that's why they call him St. Patrick. Let's see, Easter Day. Easter is to celebrate the Mother Goddess. In the sun worship religion, that's why we have sunrise service on Easter, is to celebrate the sun. They celebrated the Mother Goddess that came down from the moon in an egg. And she was the goddess of fertility. Originally comes from the word Ishtar, named after Isis. But they celebrated this for years in with different mother goddesses. It's just the most recent one before Christianity, and they just carried on because Christianity was celebrated by sun worshippers, was started by sun worshippers. Regardless of the stories they teach you, Catholics were sun worshippers. Constantine, which started the Catholic religion, was a sun worshipper until the day he died, when he denounced sun worship and accepted Jesus into his life. Do the research, that one is easy to find. And Christmas and Easter are both easy to find. The one I forgot was April Fool's Day. April Fool's Day is actually quite hilarious. It's actually the beginning of the year. It actually happens between the middle of March to the beginning of April, depending on the year. But it's called April Fool's Day because they are laughing at you because you thought the beginning of the year was 3 to 4 months earlier. And that is pretty easy to find. Look it up. Or at least it used to be. I hadn't looked it up in a couple of years, so I could be wrong. I used to have proof of all this, but I've transferred phones since then, so I lost some of my stuff. And let's see, Memorial Day, I'm not sure that there is any, Memorial Day and Labor Day, I don't know if there's any pagan religions on those, other than you're just celebrating patriotism, which is the enemy of peace. I believe it was, don't quote me on this, but I believe it was actually Thomas Jefferson that said there will never be peace on earth as long as there's patriotism. On the other hand, the 4th of July actually did have a pagan backing, but I can't remember what it was. I think it was actually I can't remember what it actually was, because there's actually some symbolism besides the war that they the reason they set off the fireworks every year. But now if you get into things like Mother's Day, Father's Day, and birthdays, it's just all self-love. Some people have gone even so far past the day of selfishness to making entire weeks and months of celebrate me. I'm so important. I was born. And And then that pretty well brings us back to October, which is Halloween. And Halloween, even though my brother says it was originally a holy day in Judaism, is Halloween is actually descended from pagan religions. It's a 3-day celebration of the dead, starting on All Hallows Eve to what they call All Saints Day, which is November 1st, where they brought the dead out of the graves, brought them in to eat with them, and supposedly the goblins and ghouls came out of the other world and took people back that didn't leave treats for them, or also why people dress like goblins and ghouls is so the goblins and ghouls won't recognize them and won't try to take them back to the underworld. And we teach our kids to do all these things, and like my dad says on every holiday, oh, I celebrate for the kids. Which is the most retarded thing I ever heard in my life. I mean, why would you teach your kids stuff that is absolutely biblically wrong, especially if you're a Christian and you're supposed to be living by the Bible? Just because you're not celebrating it exactly like the pagans, you're still celebrating it. You cannot take crap and call it cotton candy and it be different. It does not change the molecular structure. And just because all these people say, oh, we celebrate in righteousness nowadays, does not make it different. I mean, Easter is the same weekend as Passover. Celebrate Passover. It has a whole week. Almost all high holidays are 3 days to a week. They take longer. But we are commanded to celebrate those. We're not commanded to celebrate all these religions, these other holidays that usually came from pagan holidays. We're commanded not to. I'm sorry if that ruins anybody's holiday, but well, actually I'm not. I'm trying to help you. As always, Allah Hawa, and may you be blessed.